Alright, gentlemen, I have adjusted the powder die, and I believe that I have it figured out. Unique is a very coarse powder, and so it tends to throw smaller charges because of that fact. It has a difficulty passing through these different holes. So, I have gone up 2 hole sizes from the recommended 0.57 to 0.66. And what that is giving me is a consistent 5.1 grains charge. Now in the loading manual it says that the starting point is 5.3, but I did a quick Google search and I have discovered that it is actually appropriate to charge a slightly less than starting charge for lead cast bullets. That way it's not really reaming that bullet through your barrel and really fouling up your barrel. So that's what I have done with this. In the next step here, I have the bullet seating die set up, and the way that you properly adjust this is you take a casing and you put it into your shell holder and you raise it, and you screw your die in until you feel it touch the casing mouth, and then you stop, and then you would adjust the ram here to get the correct seating depth. And you would do that by placing a bullet and then adjusting the seating depth deeper and deeper as you went. A shortcut to that is to take an appropriately loaded round, put it in here, feed it into your bullet seating die with the die screwed all the way out and the ram screwed all the way out. Screw the die in until you feel it hit the shoulder, and then screw the ram in until you feel it touch the top of your bullet. That will give you a consistent seating depth from what you have been loading. That's what I did. So, to show you, I took my bullet seating die, brought the locking ring to the top, brought the ram to the top until you started to see a thread, raised a loaded round into in the ram to the top, and lowered the die. And you will feel it touch. Just like that. So then I'm going to tighten the locking ring. With difficulty. Get at the angle here. Okay. Alright, my locking ring is tight. If now that you're set up you don't move this locking ring, you will get a consistent seating depth. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the ram until I feel it touch the top of my bullet. Which is right there. That should give me an appropriate seating depth to match what I have been loading. Let's give it a try. So, we're going to make a powder charge. Let me just double check that, see how we're doing. .1. 5.1. Alright. And as I go through loading, I will probably check my charge every 5 casings or so. But, alright. So this is a real powder charge here. Alright. And then I rotate my turret to the bullet seating die, and I'm going to take a lead bullet. And I simply set it on top of my casing and raise it into the seating die. And that should seat my bullet. The way to check this is to take a barrel from your pistol, chambered in whatever caliber you're loading, and see if it will load. That actually feels like it is a little long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my ram towards me just a hair. These are micro adjustments, guys. And run it into the die again. Slippery little things. Closer. One more adjustment and we should be there. There we go. All right. And the way that you're going to tell is your bullet will space off of, it's called head spacing. Let me see if I can show you here. You see that little rim in there? The neck of your round is going to sit on that, and it should line up. My battery's about to die. I'll pick this up here in a second. Alright guys, sorry about that. My battery died. So, as I was saying, the rounds, let me get it in focus there, will space, if you see that little lip inside your barrel there, that is going to catch on the neck of your round, and that determines your correct headspace. And the way to determine that is to insert a loaded round into one of your pistol barrels, and that should be even along the top. This part and the rear of your round. That's the way to determine correct headspace. And what I do, or the correct overall length is the other term for it. So what I do is I just keep my pistol barrel here next to me and test it every so often. The next adjustment is your factory crimp die, or your carbide crimp die. And the correct way to adjust this is to take your die, I'm going to take it out, bring your ram to the top and your locking ring to the top and your adjusting knob to the top, and then screw your die in until it touches your shell holder. Lock it down. Okay. Take your loaded round, insert it into your shell holder, and raise your ram. Now drop this, your adjusting knob here, till you feel it make contact. Lower your round, give it a half turn. And that should adjust your crimp. What that's going to do is aid in the feeding in your pistol. There we have it, a loaded round. So I'm going to set that to the side. Let me go back to the beginning, and I will show you guys one more time all the way through. So this is a reprimed, resized, empty casing. I'm going to charge it, give it a tap. I'm going to take a bullet, seat it, check my headspace, it's good, and crimp. We're good. Now another good way to test this. Alright guys, sorry about that. My card was full. I shoot on a really high-res camera, so I fill 16 gig cards. I filled one so far doing this video, and this last part will be equally as big. So anyway, I'm going to walk you through it one final time, showing you all the steps, and then I'll be done. So, powder charge. I adjusted, you should know, while the camera was off, I adjusted this to flare the casing mouth just a tiny bit more than it was. I found that when I would seat it, it would shave a little bit of lead off of the bullet. which is less than ideal. So all I did was I turned this die towards me, maybe an eighth turn, and that solved the problem. So we are going to charge the case. And let me just show you that we are still getting a consistent charge. That was 5.4. We're still within parameters. Let me check it one more time. As long as we're not overcharging it, that's the only thing that I'm worried about. And there's 5.1. I have heard that there is a very cheap way to upgrade this auto discharger to the Pro version, which I might do. 5.0. That's where I want to be. All right. So there's a charged case. Lead bullet into the casing and seat. And crimp. And checking our headspace. Perfect. So, and to illustrate one more time that these will feed correctly. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Hang on. Here's something a little pickier. Kel-Tec PF9. So I'm just going to load all 5 of these rounds into the magazine, and then I will feed them through. And there we go. They feed correctly. That one little hang up, that was the Kel-Tec's fault, not the round. It just, if you've ever shot one of these, it really needs to bring that slide back to kick those rounds out. So it just got hung up. But anyway, I hope that this has been of some help to you. I should say that I am still a little bit of a newbie when it comes to this. So if you have any suggestions, or if you notice that I am blatantly making a mistake, please point it out. But otherwise, I hope that I have provided some information to help my fellow gun enthusiasts start hand loading themselves. So I think that's it. Shutters and triggers. Signing off.